Most people think that losing their teeth is just a part of life or just no big deal. But what if it could literally change your memory? A new study came out and it was looking at mice that lost their teeth. It found that even when they had perfect diet, the mice that lost their teeth had worse memory. You might think that that's just bogus. Like, how could losing a tooth have anything to do with your memory? Well, it seems like it has something more to do with the aspect of chewing, like what physically chewing actually does to your brain. So we're gonna get into that and what this actually means for us humans. So make sure you stick around for the full video. So this was a peer-reviewed study from Hiroshima University and it was published in the Archives of Oral Biology. Now the researchers used mice called SAMP8 mice. Now according to the study, these are a well-established model for accelerating aging and memory decline. So these mice in particular tend to develop brain changes that are similar to dementia earlier on in life. So how did researchers design the study? So at 3 months of age, some mice had their back molars removed. Others had what they call a sham surgery. So these mice were put under anesthesia, but they didn't really do anything to them. So then they put these mice into one of 4 groups. Either they had teeth with the high protein diet, or they had teeth with the low protein diet, or they had missing teeth with the high protein diet, or missing teeth with a low protein diet. And the study was also able to rule out calories because all the mice had the same amount of calories. They kept the same weight, so they were able to rule that out. So they were trying to remove nutrition as a confounding variable. Now you might be wondering how they measured memory in these mice. So they used something called the Barnes maze box. It's basically this big, large circular box and it has 20 different holes in it. But only one of these holes leads to a dark enclosed space. So mice naturally hate open and bright environments. So they would want to get into this dark enclosed space. And they were measuring their memory and their spatial awareness based on how fast they were able to remember which hole led to that dark enclosed space. So they measured how fast they found that hole, how efficiently they navigated through the other holes, and whether it remembered that location after training. So the researchers pointed out this is specifically targeting the hippocampus part of the brain. And the hippocampus is the main memory center of the brain. Now, what was the main finding of the study? Well, the mice without teeth performed significantly worse than the mice that had teeth, and the diet played no factor. So essentially, whether or not the mice were eating a high protein or low protein diet, doesn't matter what they were eating. If they did not have teeth, then they took a significantly longer time to find that escape hole versus the mice that had teeth. So what does this suggest? It has nothing to do with the food that you're eating, because you can still get that high protein diet without having teeth. But what the scientists think is it's the actual chewing. When you do not have those teeth, you're not actually chewing, or you're not chewing as much, and it does something to your brain. So after the memory tests were over, the researchers actually examined the brain tissues of the mice. What they found was the mice that had missing teeth, they had more pathways that led to cell death. So there's this ratio that they were looking at of signals that promote cell death and signals that actually protect the cells. So when the mice had missing teeth, they had more of those cell death signals. So more of those neurons were dying in the brains of the mice that had missing teeth. They also found more inflammation in the brains with missing teeth and also less healthy neurons. And then when they looked at the low protein versus the high protein, it was very little to having any effect at all. So again, this all plays into the part that the diet really didn't matter a whole lot in this specific case regarding the memory. Obviously, your diet is still important, but what it's really showing is the importance of chewing and what chewing does to the brain. So what exactly happens when you chew? So when you chew with your natural teeth, you have these ligaments that surround your root. These ligaments are like pressure sensors, and these pressure sensors send signals to your brain. These are the pressure sensors that can tell how hard you're chewing. So when you're chewing a nut versus chewing something like softer, then those pressure sensors can send that signal of how much pressure you're chewing with, and it sends those signals to your brain. This also increases blood flow to the brain and the hippocampus, that memory center of the brain. More blood flow means more neurotransmitters are getting stimulated, and it means that there's more neural activity happening. So when you have less teeth, that means you're gonna chew less, so you get less of this neural stimulation. You get less of this blood flow to that memory center of your brain. And it also leads to more inflammation and more cells dying in the brain. The jaw is one of the most neurologically connected parts of the body. It's kind of like using a muscle. Like when you stop working out, when you stop going to the gym, your muscles will shrink. The same thing happens with your brain. If you stop using it, it's not going to develop as much. Now, obviously this study was just done in mice and not on humans, so it doesn't mean just because it happens to a mouse, doesn't mean it's going to happen to a human. But the good thing with looking at mice studies is they age a lot faster than humans. So a short time frame in this mouse study can equate to many years for humans. Now, obviously, for checking if a human is going to get dementia, it can take many years, like almost a whole lifetime, lifetime to see if that person's going to get dementia and see what's going to cause it. And obviously you can't just extract teeth on humans because that's pretty unethical. Some people might argue that it's pretty unethical to do it in mice too, but I'll let people argue about that a different day. I think this is still really important for humans because so many times people will lose a certain tooth, and when you lose one tooth and you do nothing to replace it, your other teeth will drift, and it kind of creates a domino effect where you start using your other teeth more, they're more prone to fracturing, your other teeth are more prone to gum disease, especially because the other teeth tend to rotate around that missing tooth, and then it just creates a cycle where you start losing more teeth, you don't replace those, and all that's doing, I hear this all the time from my patients that have missing teeth, is they can't chew as well. So then they start living by eating softer foods, they start drinking more protein shakes or other shakes to get all of their nutrients. But you gotta remember, this study isolated the amount of calories. The amount of calories stayed the same. The weight of these mice stayed the same, so their weights didn't fluctuate. Their protein in their diet was studied, and it showed no difference whether they had high protein or low protein. But the main thing that they changed was the teeth. If the teeth came out, they had less chewing and their memory declined. Now, human studies already show a link between tooth loss and dementia. And researchers do think that helping restore missing teeth may help improve this and improve your cognition. But what you gotta keep in mind is there are different ways to replace a tooth. If you have just one missing tooth, it's a lot easier to replace that than by waiting and then having to replace all of your teeth. And the other thing to keep in mind is once your natural tooth is gone, even a dental implant, which is the best way to replace a missing tooth, will not replace those ligaments that attach to a tooth. And those ligaments that attach the tooth and keep that tooth in the jawbone are what actually transfer those pressure signals to your brain. So it's kind of a reminder to try to keep as many natural teeth as possible and try to keep them as healthy as possible, because once you damage a natural tooth or once you lose a natural tooth, you can never get that natural tooth back. And the other thing I think you should take away from this is if you have your natural teeth or if you have teeth replacement, the more chewing, the better. I always recommend, especially starting from an early age, literally just chewing your food thoroughly. It does so much not just for your brain development and for your neural stimulation, but also for your jaw development. Kids who grow up chewing more tend to have wider, more spacious jaws. Their teeth are less crooked because their jaws ended up growing wider and more forward because of those stem cells that got activated. They also have less airway problems, meaning they're able to breathe better, they're able to sleep better. So chewing, literally the aspect of chewing can do so much. Now, if you're an adult, it might not really help so much with the jaw development, but it can still help with your brain development. So make sure you're chewing your food. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you liked that video. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel below, and I will see you in the next video. We all know that sugar causes cavities, but that's not always the whole picture. In this video, I want to go over 7 hidden causes of cavities that most people don't even know about. So make sure you stick around for the full video because you don't want to miss one of these. Number 1 is a plaque trap. So plaque is that bacteria that builds up in your mouth. So some bacteria